Three, two, one. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Nine Hole Podcast. This is another solo episode. I am your host, Ian Miller. This past week or two, I really wanted to dive in to a topic that really stood out in my journey, really stood out to the way that baseball players kind of go about their business and kind of just prevalent topics that baseball players are going to have to deal with and eventually develop, learn, or overcome in their journey to the big leagues. Last week, we spent the week talking about confidence. So, the newsletter, the Nine Hole newsletter that goes out on the weekend, is kind of recapping a topic that we focus on during the week. So, this past weekend, it was about confidence. The members, select members, I should say, of the Nine Hole audience that spent about an hour with me last night, heard me talk a little bit more about confidence, how to develop it, how to learn it, and why you fake it. And so this week we are going to talk about overcoming adversity, something that is near and dear to my heart, and something that really was instrumental in my success, really instrumental in everybody's success. Anybody that is worthwhile, either in the game of baseball or in life, overcomes adversity at some point in their career, at some point in their life, right? So when we talk about overcoming adversity, I am going to be talking about how it pertains, how it relates to being an athlete, more specifically, being a baseball player. I am going to relate some of my adversity stories, overcoming adversity, how I kicked the shit out of the adversity that I faced, made it through the shitstorm, if you will, and what it looked like on the other side, what it did for me, how it helped me rise up, how it got me through whatever trials and tribulations that were kind of just, present at the time. So a major part of being a successful athlete is obviously overcoming this adversity. As it relates to the baseball season, man, I think first of all, think about how long a baseball season is, regardless of where you play at. It's not like football. It's not like basketball, man. You play a long season, you play a lot of games, you get a lot of ABs, you throw a lot of innings. That is a long season, which means that is a long chance of facing adversity. Hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports. Some would argue it is the hardest thing to do ever. I don't know. You be the judge. I'll tell you what, I think it is. There's so much failure. The odds are stacked against you. We touched on it last week. I'm not going to spend too much time on it today. You fail 7 times out of 10, and you are a millionaire forever. You get to the big leagues, you get to the pinnacle. Come on, Mike. Work with me here. You get to the pinnacle. About 2.3% of you in high school are going to grace a Division One baseball field. That is a small percent. So there's so much failure. There's so much adversity. There's the numbers are always stacked against you, man. There's always just some type of BS that you're going to have to go through. But at the end of all of that, if you come out on top, if you persevere, and if you weather the quote unquote shitstorm, you will emerge victorious. You will be out on the other side of it a different, leveled up person, a more evolved person, someone who is stronger, your will stronger. You might be physically stronger. We'll get into it. I wanted to dive into this episode on overcoming adversity and lay out the 4 key points that I'm going to touch on today. Number 1, what is adversity and why is it important? Why is it important on the baseball field? Why is it important on your journey in becoming a man? Why is it important in your journey in accomplishing anything worthwhile? Number 2, what adversity can do for you and what adversity can do to you if you force it or if you let it. Number 3, the alternative to not facing adversity, to not overcoming adversity. There is an alternative. There is always a choice. There is always a choice. You get some bullshit in front of you, you can either go through it or you can turn around, try to go around it, or you can turn around, just forget about it, right? the alternative to not facing adversity. I'm excited for that one. Number 4, lastly, how to overcome adversity. I'm going to try to lay all this out to you. I'm going to try to relate my own personal examples, the type of bullshit that I went through on the field. I had to overcome, right? Everybody has obstacles, everybody has challenges, everybody has different levels of adversity, and truly nobody cares. Nobody cares. This is for you. This is for your own trials and tribulations. This is for you to overcome adversity. And I'm going to try to relate how I did it and the type of BS that I went through along my journey. So, number 1, what is adversity and why is it important? Well, adversity is difficulties or misfortune, right? So it is any type of BS that kind of presents itself, whether it's out of your control, whether it is in your control. It is any type of difficulty or misfortune, right? You're not having a good season. You're not getting the results you want. You're not putting up good numbers. You're not getting the ball out of the infield. You're making too many errors. That's adversity, right? You're having difficulties. You're having misfortune. Shit's not going your way. Getting injured, dealing with the rehab process. You have family problems, right? You got stuff going on in the classroom. People are getting scholarships, spots. Just people are getting more opportunity than you. People are getting called up around you when you're feeling you're deserving. Everybody's going to go through some type of adversity as it pertains to the baseball career, the baseball journey, right? I just said it's a long one. It's a long journey, not only in the baseball world to achieving the pinnacle, right? The max that you can, get out of your talents, your career, but it's a long journey to success. Adversity is that key to success, right? Everybody talks about Major League Baseball players. Of course, dude, they are extremely talented. They are extremely talented, but not everybody understands that the best people in the game, the best people in the world at what they do, got there not just on talent alone, but work ethic and overcoming any type of BS or overcoming any type of adversity that stood in their way. They didn't just have an easy, like hand fed, spoon fed path to get there. It's a long journey to success, and adversity is the key to unlocking that success. In baseball, in professional baseball, when you are in the minor leagues or you're in the big leagues, there is money tied to service, right? So, in order to get the laundry done, to get everything folded and put up in your locker, beautiful, ready for you to come in and just make everything dirty and smelly the next day, your cleats are cleaned, your undies are washed, they're hanging up perfectly. That costs money, right? So you have to pay clubhouse dues. You need to pay the clubhouse attendants, the clubhouse manager. You need to pay those guys money. You need to say, thank you. Here's my money. Keep up the good work. Here you go. In baseball, you pay dues to the clubhouse manager for all of the services provided. In sports or in anything worthwhile, anything worth accomplishing, you need to pay those dues in the form of adversity. You need to overcome any of the challenges that are on the journey to success. In order to make it to the big leagues, you have to go through a whole bunch of bullshit. In order to start a business and be profitable or, generate life-changing revenue, there's going to be in most cases, there're going to be times when you're absolutely you're in the red or you're breaking even. God forbid you break even. That's fantastic. But in sports, and as it specifically pertains to baseball, you need to pay those dues in the form of adversity. You need to go through the BS and you need to come out on the other side. You need to have slumps. You need to get punched in the mouth a little bit. You need to get put in your place. And then you need to come out on the other side of that. That's how you make it to the top. That's how it works. It's how it works. That is how it works. There is a price that you need to pay in order to succeed. Success isn't just bestowed. That's a fantastic word. Success isn't just handed or bestowed upon anybody. The big leagues isn't just handed to anybody. Being a millionaire isn't just handed to anybody. Everybody wants to play in the big leagues. Everyone wants to be a Major League Baseball player. Everyone wants to make millions of dollars. Oof. But not everybody can do that. Not everybody is able to do that. Not everybody gets that opportunity. There's a price that you need to pay in order to succeed. It's not just handed to people. It's not just on a silver platter. Just because you get drafted and you get thrust into minor league baseball, that doesn't mean you're going to persevere and make it to the big leagues. No chance, my guy. The ones that outlast, persevere, and continue to make it through all adversity end up on top. That is just how it goes. That's in any endeavor. That's in any endeavor. If you're setting out to accomplish something or you have a goal, if you can endure and you can outlast and you can persevere and you can incrementally get better every single day, and whatever challenges or adversity that are absolutely just raining down on you, and that can't take you out, you'll end up on top. That's how that works, man. That is how that works. That's not me making that up. That is literally how that works. Outlast, persevere, and overcome. Adversity is important because it separates those who overcome it from the average. And it ultimately enables you to find out more about yourself and what you're capable of. Thank God I have this all written down over here. Thank God. Whew. Some of the most talented dudes that I've known or have personally played with that didn't make it to the big leagues weren't able to handle adversity head on and make it through the shitstorm. That's a crazy way of putting it, but it couldn't be any more true. I played with some unbelievable baseball players, some freak athletes, some of the smartest dudes in the world, some of the best hitters in the world, some of the best pitchers in the world, dudes that were better than me, that were more deserving than me, that signed for way more money than me. But those dudes would shrivel up into a fucking raisin and then become a mental midget at the first hint of adversity. The first sign of adversity, they would shrivel up into a raisin and they wouldn't be able to get out of it. They would lose confidence, they'd lose focus, they'd lose hunger, and they'd fizzle out. They'd start questioning their belief. They'd be like, dude, am I even capable of getting out of this slump? I'm 0 for 30. I'm 0 for 30. I'm trying everything. I'm trying everything, man. I'm not even wearing underwear today. Not even wearing socks, dude. Go up there with no BGs. They lose confidence, they lose focus, they lose hunger, and they fizzle out. I've played with some of the most talented baseball players in the world that didn't make it because they would just shrivel up into a raisin anytime they got punched in the mouth. It's a damn shame, too. They turned a single instance of adversity, a single trial, a single hardship, a single series of adversity, right? A single game, a single month of adversity into an insurmountable adversity monster with no way out. So they're out of baseball. They took this one instance, this one slump, this one poor season, and they turned it into a lifetime, right? Insurmountable adversity monster. That is an insane way of putting it, with no way through but out of the game. You know what, dude? There is no way for me to outwork this. There's no way for me to gain my confidence back. I don't see myself getting on the other side of this, and I don't think I'm going to be able to overcome this. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this baseball thing, dude. And you know what? You're right. You're probably right. You're having that thought with yourself. If you're thinking about that, dude, you're probably right. In order to get through that, we'll touch on it in number 4. Got to put your head down, close your fucking mouth, and go to work. That's how that works. That's how that works. As you push through any adversity that you get hit with, you level up and you get better. You evolve. The problems that you overcame on the field, off the field, in the classroom, at home, any of that shit that you overcame last year, and it wasn't able to take you out, you pushed through, you didn't take a losing attitude with you on the other side of that, and you rose on the other side of that adversity victorious and a better version of yourself than you were before it. That's how that works, man. That's why it's important. That battle tests you. That gives you your scars. That helps you build confidence. That helps you build some sort of belief in yourself. Just knowing that some bullshit can't take you out on your journey, right, to self-mastery or self-development or making it to the big leagues or getting to Division I baseball or just playing in college. Think about all the BS you're going to have to go through in order to get there. It's the ones that can outlast and don't shrivel up into a fucking raisin that make that. They make that happen, man. Don't shrivel up and be a raisin. Do not. As you continue to put out better versions of yourself and you continue to evolve, you continue to overcome adversity, so do your problems and the adversity that you're going to be dealing with, right? So as you level up, as you get better, so do your problems. Your problems become bigger. More money, more problems. Shakira said that. The bullshit that you were dealing with in high school doesn't matter when you're a Division One baseball player. You have your own problems there. You have Division One problems there. The bullshit that you were going through in college when you were a D1, D2, D3 baseball player does not matter when you're in the minor leagues or the big leagues. You have minor league problems or you have major league problems. None of that shit matters. Any of the problems that you are facing now, you'll look back on in a couple years and just be like, dude, I wish those were the extent of my problems. I wish those were the magnitude of my problems. Because in a couple of years, when you look back on the shit that you're kind of going through now and you're like struggling to deal with, dude, it's going to be trivial. I'm just bringing out unbelievable words today. Good for me. They're going to be trivial. They're going to be easy. They're going to be just simple. Unbelievable vocab. Been doing my reading. The adversity that you need to overcome in college is trivial. There it is, compared to in the pros, man. Compared to in the pros. So I wanted to relate a little bit of a story that I had gone through. This is insane. I started like typing it out and I'm like, damn, dude. Now looking back on it, I can't believe I went through that shit. So in 2014, uh, I'm in low A. This is my second year in pro ball. This is my first full season team. Full season meaning I'm going to play 140 games, 142 games, something like that, in the span of what 6 to 8 months, something. It's crazy. So I started experiencing back problems. Turned out I fucking broke my back. I had an L5. I had a fracture on either side of my spine on my L5. Hilarious, hilarious. Hit 271 that year. Couldn't walk. Couldn't really do much like anything. But I'd suck it up when the game started. Played with a broken back. So one instance, man, I stepped on the bag wrong. Shit cracked. Had to be carried off the field. Had to be helped. My buddy, my roommate, had to help put my underwear on. Dude, I'm serious. It was unbelievable. It's the worst pain I've ever experienced. I had to rehab all off season in Arizona because I couldn't walk. But what's even more of punch in the fucking face is I got my identity stolen. So in A ball, I'm 21, 22 2 years old. Dude, I don't know anything about anything. So I have a credit card, couple bucks in the bank that I obviously blew through. And I swiped my card at some shady mall, some like dumpy Midwest city. And my identity got stolen. So somebody opened up all these, accounts and thousands of dollars worth of shit at Victoria's Secret, Finger Hut, never heard of it. AT&T family plans, dude. My mom still pays my phone bill. Opening up family plans over at AT&T, we're Verizon people. I'm like, dude, what's going on? It took me years to get that shit taken care of. But I spent the off season having to rehab my back. Couldn't play baseball. Had to go in during the day and sit underneath a heat lamp and do all these exercises to try to heal my bone, heal my spine. And I got my money, all these accounts opening up in my name. That's taking money out of my pocket. My credit is hurting. My credit score is just fucking embarrassing at this point. Don't even know what that means then. So I had to spend the off season out in Arizona, my first off season away from home, dealing with a back. I have an old man back at this point, and I have no money and I have no credit. So I spent the off season living in a Roach motel. That's about all I could afford. I had a extremely dumpy apartment, bottom of the barrel, but I had to pay for it, right? I'm out on my own. I'm a grown man at this point with no credit, no money, and no back. But I grinded through, made it through, dude. Made it through on the other side. Got bigger, focused a little bit more on my upper body, right? I was a little scrawny piece of shit. And then we start rolling in. It's the off season goes by, comes and goes. Oh. And then spring training happens. And at this point, I am not invited to minicamp. And that is the top prospect camp. That is the early camp for spring training. That's when the big league players show up, and there's an adjacent or an adjacent. Pretty sure that's another good it's another good word there. But there is a camp that mirrors that schedule, right? So when the major league players show up, this mini camp also shows up, and they mirror and they usually back up games in big league spring training. It's usually reserved for top prospects and dudes. I did not get an invite to that top prospect camp, and I was there. I was in Arizona. I was foaming at the mouth to get back on the field, and I was a little pissed off uh, that I had just put together a pretty decent year with a broken back, and I wasn't getting any type of respect. So I asked to be a part of it. I remember reaching out to the farm director, Jack Howe, and I asked to be a part of it. I said, "Hey, Jack, I'm out here, man. Can I just show up? Can I just show up when those guys are there? I don't even need the money. I don't need the $15 meal money daily. Let me just show up and get the reps, man. Let me prove to you guys. Let me prove to you guys I should be here, man." I was allowed to show up. I had to show up in a different uniform. I had to wear a different jersey without my name on the back, just a number 14. I'll never forget that. Number 14 was a blue jersey. Everybody else got to wear, a mini camp jersey, their name on the back of it. I had to wear a dark blue jersey. I think Jabari Blash was there. Somebody else was there too. And we were the outcasts, right? We would show up and we were able to participate and go through the drills, go through the day, but we had to look different because we were different. I took that shit personal. I was going to be the dude that embarrassed every one of these minicamp motherfuckers, and I was going to show out. Eventually, as time went on, I got my jersey. They allowed me to be part of that minicamp, right? Um, so I went from having a broken back in 2014 to being a part of minicamp in 2015, right? I had to find my way in there, overcome that adversity. And then I found myself in big league spring training games and making a little name for myself. I was the little fast dude that just came off a broken back season, and I could steal a bag on command. Eventually, overcoming all that, the broken back, the disrespect, having my credit taken, stolen, money gone, Roach Motel. Eventually, I was the opening day center fielder in high A that year, right? So after spring training got done, I went to high A. I was the opening day center fielder in high A, and I beat out the fucking dude who was ahead of me in minicamp, who the Mariners at the time were rock hard for. They fucking loved this dude. And I made him expendable. I made him expendable. I showed up, I showed out, and he gone. That's how that works. That's how that works. I was faced with more adversity and I overcame that and I made somebody else expendable. It's either you or me, and it's not going to be me. I'm not gone. I'm not expendable. That's not how that works. Number 2. So we dove into what adversity is, why it's important. Number 2, what adversity can do for you and what it can do to you. So you can choose to view any type of adversity that you're hit with as an opportunity or a problem. We talked about this past week. Man, you can choose to view things in a positive light, or you can be a pessimist, a victim, and you can just cry about it all the time. You can mope around like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. You can view it as an opportunity to get better and get battle tested, or you can view it as a problem that you need to go around and find another path because you're too soft to deal with it. The choice is yours. You always have a choice, but it's either you put your head down, you close your fucking mouth, and you work, or you shrivel up into a raisin. The harder the adversity and the harder the problems and the harder the misfortune, the stronger you become. Not just physically, but mentally stronger. That's how you develop. This is also how you develop confidence, right? So the harder the BS that you're hit with, the stronger you become. The more physically fit you become, the more mentally fit you become. You become battle tested. Going through any of these trials and tribulations makes you rise up, right? It puts your back against the wall, makes you go all in. You start fucking around and doing stuff that you didn't think you were capable of. You accidentally do things like that, right? You surprise yourself with what you're able to do. You might have had some type of, mental, block or mental ceiling, right? Or some, negative connotations around something, and you might just break through that shit. Didn't know it was possible before, but your back was against the wall. You had no other option. You had no other option, man. You end up finding out kind of what you're capable of, makes you rise up. You take down some shit and you come out on the other side victorious of stuff you just didn't think you'd be capable of doing, right? You didn't think you'd be able to handle it. You have no choice but to be confident in yourself and your ability after conquering adversity. That's how that goes. If you go through some bullshit adversity that is just unfair and almost laughable, and you treat it as an obstacle you're going to overcome, you'll do just that. Keep harping on, positive quotes, mental skills quotes, and I love it, man. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. That's right. So, my pivotal point, talked a little bit about it yesterday on the webinar with some of the 9-hole faithful, as you will. But my pivotal point and probably the most adversity that I've ever dealt with on the baseball field as it pertains to baseball was my freshman year, right? So I was a walk-on. That's what the whole 9-hole podcast is built on. That whole story, right? I was a walk-on. I was a 9-hole hitter. I made it to the big leagues in the 9-hole. I made it to the big leagues as a walk-on, right? Trying to portray that to the next generation of 9-hole hitters, of walk-ons that like, dude, if I can do it, anybody can do it, man. So I was a walk-on and I had to grind my beanbag off in order to make that team, in order to get a starting spot. I was a freshman starter in the outfield amongst fifth-year seniors, dudes, just grown men. I'm still a little boy. Did everything right, showed up, showed out, outplayed everybody, and I made the team. So I go home for Thanksgiving. Right around Thanksgiving, November, I get a call. My family gets a call, found out my dad died. It's crazy. It's crazy. Abrupt. It's abrupt, man. So that's a whole lot. I'm going to school in New York. Family's in Pennsylvania. Have to stay back. Have to take care of business. But what's more, the time that I missed because of, my dad passing away, my classes and my teachers at school, they absolutely bent me over. There was no way that they were going to help me. And so they don't have to help me. They don't get paid on whether people pass or fail, right? So these teachers, they just gave me incompletes. So I went through that whole fall semester, grinded my beanbag off on the field, off the field, made the team, was staying afloat in these courses that I had no business taking, that had nothing to do with anything that I wanted to do in life or in academics. They were just like general courses. Honestly, I think it was psychology and Buddhism. 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 What? And so I got incompletes there, man. None of my teachers helped me, and the only way out of this shitty situation was through. So I made the team, missed some time because my dad passed away. The school is just not helping me out. Got to take these classes all over again. Had to finish them, right? I had to take more classes the following semester in order to be eligible because I had X amount of incompletes. You have to finish a X amount of classes, a lot of credits or classes or whatever it is. So I had to do not double duty, but more than anybody else was doing the following semester, and I had to refinish the classes with incompletes in order to move forward. When that was all said and done, yeah, not saying I had the best freshman season, but I came out on the other end of that a bad motherfucker who could not be defeated. At the end of that, I went to Hamilton, Ohio. I alluded to this story last week as well. Went out to Hamilton, Ohio for my first summer ball experience, and I was a fucking bench player playing behind dweebs. But I didn't let that defeat me, man. I gave up my summer to go travel and play, summer collegiate baseball and be a bench player. I didn't shrivel up into a raisin, man. Came out on the other side of that, just ready to compete, dude. I leveled up, and literally since then, any goal that I've ever had, since that has happened to me, I've accomplished. And I know that that will continue because of like anything that comes my way can't possibly be crazier than that to take me out. No chance. That's how that works. That's how confidence works. That's why overcoming adversity is important. You get rained on with a shitstorm, dude, you come out on the other side. Like, what's going to be able to take you out? Number three, the alternative and the consequences to not facing adversity head on. So, everybody's going to have different challenges. Everybody's going to have different misfortune. Everybody's going to have different shitstorms that they're going to have to deal with. But it's either you deal with it and you go head on and you try to go through it, or you be average. You remain complacent, and you don't accomplish anything. Your kids will not have any stories to tell their friends about you. That's just how that works, man. If you don't deal with adversity head on, you will be average. You won't accomplish anything, and your kids will have nothing to tell your friends about you. You've done nothing cool, man. You probably have done nothing cool. You've probably had everything handed to you. You don't, yeah, man, that's crazy, right? You don't face adversity head on. You're going to be complacent. You're going to stay in one safe place and predictable spot your whole life. That sounds terrible. Complacent, safe, predictable, terrible. That's how that works. The alternative and another consequence to not facing adversity head on is you'll watch everybody else level up and do hard shit and accomplish great things, and you won't. Everybody's got a choice. Everybody has a choice. You can face that adversity head on and go get it, get after it, push through it, or you can just remain the same. You can remain safe, be complacent, stay there. Just stay there. Stay there. Don't go out. Remain comfortable. Stay there. Stay in that one predictable spot your whole life. Sounds fucking terrible. Watch everybody else level up and do hard stuff. Watch everybody else evolve, accomplish their dreams, accomplish their goals, and you don't do anything. You don't do anything, man. That doesn't sound cool. Does not sound cool. Does that sound like somebody that's going to get to the big leagues, let alone do anything cool in their life? I don't think so. The alternative to not facing adversity and overcoming hard stuff is being a nobody and not accomplishing anything. Here's another fantastic quote. Love pulling these out. Woo! Tough times create strong men. Strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men. Weak men create tough times. So tough times create strong men. You go through some bullshit, you go through some tough times, you're going to have to overcome it and you're going to come out as a tough man. That's how that works. That's overcoming adversity. Tough times create people like that. If you can withstand it, you'll come out on top. Strong men create easy times. It's not always going to go your way. Overcome some bullshit, you are going to have to face something else, a bigger problem, right? You overcome something, what's next? Anything worthwhile is going to be tough, man. So tough times create strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men. Easy times create weak men. Whoop, go back a little bit. Complacent, staying in one safe and predictable spot your whole life, not doing hard shit, not accomplishing anything, being average. Easy times create weak men. Weak men create tough times. And then that cycle just keeps going, right? Easy times create weak men create tough times. Be a strong man. Tough times create strong men. Overcome any type of adversity that you're hit with, man, and you'll come out on the other side of that leveled up. You'll evolve. I don't have a personal example to give here. Honestly, I truly don't have a personal example to relate here. I don't. Sorry about it. Whatever. But I do, however, have a bunch of friends or a bunch of teammates, right? Or colleagues or classmates or, ex-teammates that I went to school with or played baseball with that are living the shriveled raisin life because they couldn't face adversity head on. And that snowballed into their current life and situation. Now, 5 years, 10 years, 2 years, whatever it is, years later, and they're still living that shriveled fucking raisin, complacent, safe life in one spot. That's how that snowballs. You get adversity and you shrivel. You live that shriveled raisin life. It's tough to get out of that. Now what happens the next time? So you run away from your fucking problems the first time, and then what? You don't think you're going to hit another problem at some other point? How are you going to deal with that? We talked about incrementally stacking wins last week. Talk about doing little hard shit. That's how you stack wins. You wake up at 5, or you say you're going to go to the gym. That's an incremental win, and you do it. You can also incrementally stack L's, man, and live that shriveled raisin life. If you don't face adversity head on, you shrivel up. That's how that goes, man. That can snowball. That can become a lifestyle. That shriveled raisin lifestyle. That shit stinks, dude. I don't want to live like that. Being complacent, being average, not accomplishing anything, staying in one safe and predictable spot. Name me somebody that has accomplished anything or done anything great with those attributes. Fucking not anybody. How to overcome adversity. Last part. I'm getting fired up now. No, I'm sweating through the shirt. That's right. How to overcome adversity. Be process oriented and don't focus on the results. Be process oriented and not result oriented. What can you possibly control out of all of this bullshit? You're getting just absolutely rained on by a storm of adversity, a storm of misfortune, just hilariousness that is uncontrollable. Like, you take a moment and you think about it, dude. What can you control out of all of this bullshit? What can you influence? What can you positively chip away at that you'll be able to just hold on to and just, you can change this. Yeah, I'm getting shit on right now. I just got cut from my school team, but I can still show up in the gym the next day and work out on my own. I can go hit the cage this weekend. Oh, dude, I just fucking didn't make the team on Thursday. Just got cut. Okay, you got your day to sulk. Everybody gets a day, dude. 24 hours. Bathe in it. Feel that. And then let it fuel you. Then you go to the cage, you go to the gym this weekend, and you just absolutely fucking get after it. Any type of adversity, man. You can always just try to push through, whatever that looks like, man. If you're alive, you can push through. That's it. If it doesn't take you out and it doesn't kill you, there's a way to push through. That might just be persevering. That just might be putting your head down and letting it just rain on you. That's the proper way of saying it. Rain on you. How to overcome adversity, man. Your effort, your attitude, and your mindset. You don't let the external affect the internal. I'm surprised that just popped up in my head. I didn't use this as my outline on the side. I keep looking to the right to keep me on track and then come back, talk to you guys. Something I've been thinking about, man. The external factors cannot influence the internal voice. That is a fucking awesome way to overcome adversity. That's an absolutely awesome way to overcome it. All the bullshit that's going on all around you, that can't influence the way that you think, the way that you feel, right? That's step number 1 probably of overcoming adversity. That's a great way to overcome adversity. Keeping that mindset, keeping that voice, like keeping this internal dialogue in you that you know what you're ultimately going to achieve and like be able to outlast. It's going to be so worth it when you come out on the other side of this bullshit. Your effort shouldn't be hurt. The attitude shouldn't be hurt. The mindset can't be hurt. A steel fucking trap. If you have firm goals that you want, build a roadmap that you can follow. Right? That's the process. You have a goal, think about and build out the roadmap. What do you need to do daily? When the shit hits the fan and your mind's going all over the place, what do you know that you need to do this day? If it's a Saturday, or if you're in pro ball, or you're in college and you don't have any classes, you have a free day. Man, I'm really going through it. Haven't had a hit in a couple weeks. You should be go work. Go work. Work. Go work. Have firm goals that you want and have a roadmap that you follow with discipline in order to achieve that goal. It's also important to have an escape, right? What's something that you can do to take your mind off of this adversity? Is it something that has to do with the adversity? Is it something that has to, do with your profession, your sport? Is it a video game? Dude, I still blow off steam with some video games, dude. Still 32 years old, going on 40, still playing video games, and I'm still incredible at them, man. It's a great way for me to just blow off some steam. So this is a way that I overcame adversity. This just so happens to be the year that I was in the big leagues. 27 years old, dude. 27 years old, rolling into minor league spring training. I'm the oldest fucking dude in the minor league spring training. I just won a ring in the Arizona Fall League. I was the oldest dude, 26 years old, in the Arizona Fall League, and I just rolled straight from there, straight to Mexico, made 30 G's in winter ball, right? Feeling good. But I was getting slapped, in the face by the game of baseball, man. Getting slapped, getting a little disrespected, right? Thanks for your service. We'll throw you out there. Thanks for winning a ring in the Arizona Fall League, representing the org well. Love the shit that you did over in Mexico. Why don't you come over here with the minor league scrubs, dude? You're the oldest guy. I put them under your wing and just worry about them. How about that? So I was getting slapped in the face by the game of baseball a little bit, but I remained process-oriented, not result-oriented. Yes, anybody can look at the minor league aspect of it and be like, well, dude, you didn't necessarily have a great season the year before. I absolutely get it. Absolutely, I get it. I get it. I get it. But I went back to the lab, dude. Went into the cage, asked for help. The definition of insanity is doing the same shit over and over again, expecting different results. I switched up my process, learned some new stuff, developed some new skills, man. I asked for help. And I focused on incrementally getting my swing, my mindset, and my process right day in and day out. With the help of some tools, with the help of some coaches, right? I've touched on that in previous podcast episodes, dedicated fucking whole podcast episodes to that. But at the end of the day, after my hands were fucking bleeding because I was hitting so much, I would go home and I would obsess over the video. I would obsess over the data. I'd watch it back. I would pick it apart, just obsess over it, man. Break it down. I'd be immersed in it, submersed, whatever that word is, submerged. Be submerged in it, dude. Bit by bit, just grinding through it, remaining positive, right? Keeping my fucking head down and my mouth shut and just trying to get on the other side of it. I overcame that adversity. By the end of spring training, the oldest dude over there in spring training, by the end of spring training, I was teaching my locker mates my process, how to keep a notebook, how to track the approach, how to track pitches, how to chart shit that the pitchers were doing to me, how to keep a detailed notebook so I could use that as fuel the next time I played those guys. I was teaching my teammates how to do that, the ones that were, in big league camp and then came back down, right? Those were my locker mates. I was teaching them how to do it, talking about my process. They wanted to learn. And then about 6 months later, I was in the big leagues, man. Got to achieve the one goal that I set out to achieve, the one goal, the one dream I had. And it was just on the other side of that absolute shitstorm. Just on the other side of it, man. Everything that I've been able to accomplish and every little cool thing that I've been able to achieve or do on the baseball field or off the baseball field was just on the other side of an absolute shitstorm. However you want to call it, man. You overcome adversity, you have a chance to do something great. You overcome adversity, you evolve, you rise up, and you're able to just be a bad dude on the other side of that, man. Anything that is worthwhile in life, anything that's worth going after or achieving, there's going to be a whole bunch of adversity there. And in order to get what you want, in order to make it to the big leagues, in order to, play in college, whatever the dream is, like you have to overcome that adversity. And then you have to evolve, and then you have to go through more adversity. And you have to just keep evolving and keep getting rained on by the shitstorm of adversity, dude. You continuously do that, and you continuously stack those wins over a career. and you'll be able to look back at the end of that and smile. That's how that goes, man. That's how that goes. I appreciate everybody being here. We're going to be talking to John Sheehan of Millersville, hopefully this week. Hopefully. We'll see, man. We'll see. We'll hit you guys with some baseball news before the weekend hits, and then I will see everybody that was in attendance for this past webinar on confidence again this week. Check out the newsletter, the 9-hole newsletter. Check out whatever else we got going on. I appreciate everybody watching either on YouTube or on Apple Podcasts. Appreciate the thumbs up, the ratings and shit, man. That's huge. That's huge. Lets me know to keep going. Appreciate all you guys, man. Absolutely keep fucking grinding, because it'll all be worth it at the end. It will all be worth it at the end. And whatever you're going through now, it'll be elementary in a couple years to whatever problems you're facing then. Keep evolving, keep growing. Catch you guys here in a couple days, man. Peace.